Welcome to another episode of Bro Date. This is Keith. I'm Jarrell. Today this is a first for us. We're gonna talk about our top 5 movies of 2015. Now I'm gonna
favorite movies. Let's put it that way.
Our favorite movies for 2015. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I don't think there's gonna be much we're gonna agree on.
I don't think so either.
So
this is gonna be interesting.
This is gonna be interesting.
I feel there's one.
I'm excited.
I think there's one I can definitely say.
I think there's one.
I think I know what it is.
Me too.
We'll find out.
We will find out in just a moment. I will also say this. I kind of had trouble making this list because there was like... I got my list, and I think ultimately there were about 12.
Yeah, I think I had like 15.
I got 12. I'm like... But I got it down to 5 somehow. There were movies that, when I made my list and I finally picked my top 5, I was shocked that I didn't have those on my top 5.
Me too. Couple things.
That kind of surprised me. But with nonetheless, we'll go ahead and start. So
we'll go from 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Now, did you use any certain criteria when you were deciding between movies?
Not exactly.
I just sort of, with probably like my top 3 at least, went with movies that I would watch like over and over again probably.
Yeah, I threw that in. There was a lot of things I just like started to consider. So there wasn't any like one particular thing, but there was just a lot of things that ultimately came up with my list. So
gotcha.
My number 5 was Hateful Eight.
Yeah?
Yeah. My number 5 was Hateful Eight. It was a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, there was only one thing that I didn't really favor about the movie. Same thing I didn't favor about Django, which you all can probably imagine. But I was entertained by the movie. I enjoyed it. I laughed. It was suspense for me. I was literally sitting at the edge of my seat, like wondering what's going on. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of action. It to me was just a really good movie overall. So that's my number 5 movie of the year, and it's the most recent movie that I've seen. So I don't know if that had to play a part of it.
One I've seen too.
I don't know if that played a part in it, but
yeah, that's what's hard about this list. Is there stuff that came out in like January?
Yeah.
Last year that I was like, oh, I loved that movie.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in a while. So yeah, I think more recent stuff kind of just sticks a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a perfect world, we could watch every movie we've seen this year again, but there's not. Nobody's got time for that.
There were movies that I thought were from this year that I went back and looked, and no, it wasn't even from this year. I was like, son of a gun. Anyway.
Okay, my number 5 is The Martian. Now, I was excited to see it, and when I did, I was not disappointed at all. I love sci-fi. I always have for a really long time, so anything in space is kind of like an event, especially on a big screen. And I think the visuals and the story, I thought it was really well acted by Matt Damon. I think it all just came together really well. I had a really great time watching it. And compared to all the other movies that I had in my like 15, it's one that I would probably watch more than the others. So The Martian is number 5 for me.
Cool. We'll go ahead and stick with you. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is one I don't even think you've seen.
Probably.
And it's Inside Out.
Okay.
It's the newest Pixar film. And I thought that they finally sort of got back on track with this one. Animation was great in it, and the concept is really cool. So the concept was cool out of the bat. It's like, what if your emotions were actually characters that sort of like controlled how you feel inside your body, and they can store memories and all this other stuff. But the way that they handle it between the little girl that's in there and the characters that control her, it's really, you could apply it to like a bunch of different mental disorders if you wanted to. Like, it really could be sort of an art film if they made it as a live action flick, you know? So just the concept behind it and the execution, I thought it was beautiful. Like, between exactly what happens to her and the feelings that she feels, anybody can relate to it, and it was just a really, really cool film overall.
You know what? I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
You're right. I haven't seen it. Funny thing is, I have it. I just haven't seen it just yet. So,
Okay. We'll have to check back in with him.
We will. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. That's why I got it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to check it out.
There were 2 really good animated films this year. There was that and The Good Dinosaur, which is out right now.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking back on it, The Good Dinosaur's got really, the little like caveman character is really cool. But as an overall movie, I think Inside Out has it. So that's my number 4.
All right.
Now it's your turn.
My number 4. Kingsman: The Secret Service.
I had that on my list too. It was down there. It's not on this list. Great movie. Let's be honest. Yeah,
exactly.
I can't argue with that.
First of all, this movie completely caught me off guard. Not completely, I should say, because I wanted to see it. I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then I'm watching it, and I'm like, holy cow, this movie's sweet.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a young James Bond. And then it turns out to be so much better.
It was better.
Yeah.
It literally was. It was funny. The action in it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the story was pretty cool with it, too.
That church scene.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
one of the craziest scenes you'll ever see in a movie.
The church scene, some of the scenes at the end. I just, overall, I thought it was a good movie. So this was another movie, like, pretty much from beginning to end, I was entertained. Mm-hmm. And this is something kind of like what you've been saying with your movies. I could see myself watching this over and over and over again. Just because I thought it was that good. This, I don't know if they have any plans, but I hope they make a second one.
I
hope they make a second one.
I can see that happening for sure.
So, that was my number 4.
I like it. I like that pick.
Yes.
All right, what about number 3?
Number 3 for me, Mad Max.
Same position, same movie. I knew it. And that was the one. I was like, it's going to be on both our lists. I know it.
I know this is coming off as a common theme for me. Again, start to finish, just kept my attention.
It's insane.
Completely entertaining. Completely. This is the first movie that I mentioned that I didn't really find funny. There were parts that I don't know that necessarily they were meant to be funny, but it was just it was I don't know, just sarcastic maybe. It was funny to me in a sense, but this was a movie that, like, going into it did catch me off guard. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of like most movies where there's just all these things happen in these multiple chopped moments or whatever, where this one, it's one sequence.
Yeah.
One sequence.
Yeah, one of the coolest things this year. Definitely.
I think everybody in the movie just did a great job. Tom Hardy was awesome. And it was what nowadays an action film needs to be.
Yeah, it really sort of redefined that genre this year.
Oh, yeah.
It completely, like, blew everything else off the hinges. It's unprecedented. They didn't really shoot with a script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that. They
had storyboards, and that was the script. Like, that's why it really feels like that one sequence, and it really is. And I know that a lot of the actors were like, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah.
But it worked. Like, it really worked. I think if you didn't see it in theaters, you probably kind of missed out.
Oh, yeah.
It was a spectacle. Even, like, every single part of it.
Yeah.
Visually.
Yes.
The audio. When that electric guitar gets going and the dude's flying around on, like, bungee cables.
The whole, when they're in that tornado thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
It's got so much to take in visually.
It does. And I think and to be honest with you, I don't know if I can really tell you much about the previous Mad Maxes at all.
Yeah.
But this one, like I didn't feel like I needed to know about them. I don't know how much it fed off of those previous ones. I have no idea, but
it's a little bit like the second one, but it's really just its own thing.
Yeah,
it
really is.
And it really is like just a day in the life of Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a snippet out of like everything that could happen to this guy over the course of years. Like they could make more and do the same thing. It could be completely different.
I think also one of the reasons why I liked it is now they've already announced that they're going to be doing it in the second one at least, and there was a point in the movie where I thought, well, this is where it's about to end when they get to that the place that they were trying to get to with all the women and stuff. I'm like, I thought it was about to end there, and that's where they were going to end, and that's where the second was going to take place. Nobody.
Now
they turned around, went back where they just came, and then the action starts all over again, which I thought was amazing. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is sweet.
Crazy movie.
So that is funny. Wow, we both met at 3 with that. That's interesting. That is interesting. So, go ahead. No, what are you going to say?
All right. No, I was just going to say, 3. All right.
What's your number 2?
I got 2 left.
All right.
My number 2 is not going to be your number 2. It's Jurassic World.
I knew you were going to have that.
Hey, listen. I was such a big fan of the original Jurassic Park growing up, and this is kind of like a reskin and a reboot of it. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. It's not like the best movie ever, but I could watch it every night probably. Chris Pratt is amazing in it. I thought he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
They really set it up, if they're going to make more, that they have a really cool like main character to use. If they do that and don't screw it up like the last ones. But everything about it, it's just the whole spectacle. And I think most of the movies that I picked are movies that seeing them in a theater really affects it. And then they're just fun to have on the TV at home too. So Jurassic World was definitely it. There was a new big bad dinosaur. The park was open again. That was the coolest part of it.
Yeah.
The park's never been an actual functioning park. The first one, it was sort of a preview for the people that they took there. This one, there's people everywhere. So many people could die.
Yeah.
And then just them tracking down this dinosaur that has all these different traits because they fused all these different people animals into it. Just a really cool thing. Really fun movie to watch. It's not like Shakespeare, but it was fun.
No, it was. It was.
And that's what I like sometimes.
I remember enjoying it. No, it's not my number 2.
I didn't think so.
I was gonna joke around with you and say it was.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't believe you because I think I know what your top 2 are.
Believe it or not, it did make my list.
Yeah?
It did. It was one I was like, I did like it. It was one of the 12 that I had, or 11, whatever it was. But it just didn't make my top 5. I don't know. This might shock you now that I think about it. My number 2 is The Martian.
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
My number 2 is The Martian.
I'm really curious what happened to one movie then. Really?
You know what? Also, I thought it was a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon did a great job with it. It was just in it again with all my movies so far. It was one that I could rewatch over and over from start to finish. Yeah. I thought it was. I don't know. I mean, not that I have this huge thing for like sci-fi type movies or whatnot, but there is something. At least lately, I have really enjoyed these outer space movies. I absolutely loved Interstellar. Loved it. In fact, that was the movie that I was talking about that I thought was from this year.
Yeah.
Now that, if it was from this year, would have been my number 1.
You like it better than The Martian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I loved Interstellar. Loved it. But it and then also the one with Sandra Bullock.
Gravity.
I liked Gravity as well.
Gravity too.
So Martian, it was a similar movie to all three of those, but it had its completely own kind of background story.
Yeah, I think
Events going on, you know?
the high stakes of him, like, being stuck there was one of the coolest things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it really, like, it added so much to the movie. So I think that was one of the biggest things for me is that, like, especially seeing it the first time, you're like, well, how the hell is he going to do this?
Yeah, and you're just, like, sitting there pulling,
Yeah.
just... Is he going to do it? Is he going to... I mean, with everything that he does. Not just, like, is he going to finally get off this planet? No, everything that happens...
Is that going to grow?
Right.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was
Really?
funny. It was entertaining. Yeah, that was my number 2.
Shocked.
It was... I mean, to be honest with you, with my top 5... So I started off with this 12. Then I finally got it down to my 5. And I had trouble. I'm like, I don't know what order I'm going to put these in. Like, I literally feel like I could have put them in 20 different orders, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yes, that was my number 2. That was my number 2. Wow. So now, we're down to our final one. And I'm curious to know which one you thought was supposed to make our list. Or possibly 2, depending on if you are shocked about this one. But you might have a hint at this one. My number 1 is a movie that I'm not sure if you have seen.
I have no idea what's happening right now. Then this
my number 1 movie is Straight Outta Compton.
Okay. He told me to watch it about 85 times. I still haven't watched it. Where are the Marvel movies? What happened? I'm shocked.
So remember when I
wasn't expecting
when I said I looked back at my list and I said I can't believe I don't have those movies in here. Yes, 2 of them were Marvel movies.
Both of them. What? Yeah, that's what I'm surprised about.
Straight Outta Compton was a all-out amazing movie. Seriously. I mean, entertained, funny, dramatic, suspenseful. I mean, it's obviously a true story, or at least based on true experiences and whatnot. And it's something that, you know, obviously I could tie to with being around in that era and knowing a little bit about it. But I learned so much more from this movie. I was surprised not only about how good it was, because I just watching the previews and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. I can't wait for it to come out. Mm-hmm. But sitting there and watching it, I really enjoyed it, and that surprised me. But 2, so Ice Cube's son plays him, and it's like
That's
it
his
was.
son?
Yes.
I don't know that.
It's like it was Ice Cube.
Well, I believe it.
No, I mean, just, well, the thing is, he as far as I know, he hasn't acted in any other, in anything before this.
I don't think he has. I think I saw him on a show.
He pinned everything that his dad did or does, his mannerisms and all that stuff. It was like, wow, this is awesome. It was unbelievable, literally. So that is my number 1 movie. If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it, go out and see it. It is just extremely well written, well played out, very good movie. I could absolutely watch it over and over and over again.
Very cool. I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked.
Glad I could shock you.
Interesting.
I have a lot of special mentions after this.
Yeah, I think
2 of them you would know of.
I got a couple too. 2 for sure. All right. My number 1 movie.
I'm anxious to hear this.
It'll be such a surprise. Dun, 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 Star Wars, baby! I think it's really easy for me to say that. It's the most entertained I've been in such a long time. I have seen it 4 times. It just broke about every record the box office has ever had, ever. It's approaching Avatar on worldwide now. I think it's got like 1 billion to go, and it's like the 3rd week it's been out. It's insane. It's been crushing everything, literally. It's what I want to see in a movie. That's the simplest way I can put it. It calls on, you know, movies that I've seen before, so it can actually, like, people can theorize about what's going to happen, what exactly is going on. I think that's what was kind of missing in the prequels, is you knew who lived, you knew what was going to happen. These we don't. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know certain things about certain characters, and there's more to learn. So it's just this exploration into this universe that I kind of grew up with anyway. And it was perfect for me. Loved it. It's my number 1.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that next year, Star Wars is going to be your number 1 again.
I mean,
there's
like, 2 next year.
That's like someone coming up to me and saying, "Oh, what's your favorite TV show?"
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. And even if they bomb this next series, I still would say, not that they bombed this.
No,
episode,
there might be a shot that it won't. It's the first spin-off movie next December.
Oh, we'll see. Well, either way, so then you got 2 chances.
I'm still gonna like it.
So
it might be like down a little bit, but
now you're telling me that I know what your number 1 and 2.
Oh no, I was wrong. There's only 1 next year.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway,
interesting. So we had what? 2. We had
2. Yeah. We didn't think so.
2. No. We didn't think so. Mm-hmm. But so yes,
Mad Max and The Martian.
Yeah. Trust me. When I made my list and I looked at it, I'm like, the Avengers: Age of Ultron isn't on here.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, who I don't know much about Ant-Man, but I did love the movie. I loved it. In fact, I just watched it not too long ago. Yeah, it shocked me that those 2 aren't on there. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this. I tried to put some of my bias interest away. Yeah, obviously.
Hey.
I tried to do that. So
I basically had 2 open spots.
Yeah, so those were my honorable mentions. I can't remember what else I had.
Whiplash is one of mine.
Oh.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I love the actors in it. If you haven't seen it, it's a really cool drama. Another one that I literally just saw was Burnt. Mm-hmm. That was way better than I expected. I think that he could definitely get nominated for that. Bradley Cooper, about him being a chef.
Yeah.
Trying to like kick his old bad habits and get a Michelin star. I'm trying to think of what else. There's other like goofy family movies like Goosebumps, which I loved. Good Dinosaur was pretty good. I'm trying to think what else.
I was trying to think of what else
I know there's probably some horror movies. I really liked The Visit. M. Night Shyamalan.
I didn't have that on my top.
Back in.
I did think it was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was. I did not expect that movie to be funny at all, and it was very funny.
That has some of the more funny moments of movies all year.
It really did. It really did.
Yeah.
I don't like his movies.
I like. That's the Quentin Tarantino thing with me too. I like about half of M. Night Shyamalan's movies.
I did like this one, so.
I think he stepped back in the right direction.
Thank goodness, because where he was going, I had already given up on him. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to see this one. As soon as I found out that he was involved, I'm like, crap.
Yeah, well.
But I was surprised.
I'm trying to think. I wish I had I should have wrote my whole list down.
Another one that almost made it on my list. I don't know if you've seen this movie yet. Creed.
Yeah. It was on mine too. It's on my long list. Creed was great.
Creed was what I thought Rocky V and Rocky VI should have been.
Yeah.
I hated both of those.
Hated?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, they were no,
I don't remember that much about him.
Well, 5 was absolutely horrible.
That was Tommy Gunn?
Yeah, Tommy Gunn. That was stupid. than the last one when he came back out of retirement.
Yeah, no, this is the right story. This
It
is the
was.
right story to make another
yeah.
Rocky film.
Yeah, they did it right.
He really looks like he could be Creed's son.
Was it Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Does a great job with it.
Yeah.
Does a great job with it. Just the development that you see from his character, the troubles that he's going through and whatnot, and then also kind of when he gets finally, I don't know, just feeling successful, feeling, just good about what he had, then Rocky comes up and finds out that he has cancer or whatever it was, and now he's spinning in turmoil again. So I thought it was really good. I think it leads to, there'll absolutely be a sequel. I can imagine that there won't be. So I'm looking forward to that. That Creed was one that almost made the list for me.
One other one that I had, and I was close to kind of bumping it, was Ex Machina.
Oh. Yeah.
I saw it in the theater, and I thought, like, the whole thing was mesmerizing. The whole concept, everything about it, the way the story unfolds is just, it sort of really messes with your mind at certain points, and I thought it was just really cool how they explore sort of what's human and what's not, and it really...
Yeah,
that was one of the ones that I really enjoyed this
it was
year.
interesting. There were moments where, with me watching it, I felt like things were just drawn out. Like, I'm just like, okay, when is something going to happen? It started to lose my interest.
It gets a little crazier than I really expected it to, as well.
Yeah,
He's got the whole, like,
crazy.
locker full of bodies.
It definitely got crazy. Selma, I don't think you've seen that.
I have not.
I thought that was really good. I don't know the main character's name, but he does a great job. And actually, the supporting cast around him as well does a great job. So that's a really good story. Obviously, a very emotional story as well, for obvious reasons.
I think a lot of them that I had on my long list were movies that I would probably not watch that often. Like, Whiplash, I loved.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of my favorite movies
It was a good
of
movie.
the year for sure. But I don't watch dramas, like, over and over. Like, I'll watch it probably once every couple of years.
Yeah.
Um,
The ending of that surprised me.
yeah.
Um,
You should see Burnt.
One that shocked me that was on my list was Focus.
Focus. Okay.
I
liked it.
made my list. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was very interesting. I kind of like Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this is one of his better movies that he's come out
I think
with in the past.
he's sort of like making weird decisions lately on some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Like After
Yeah.
with his son.
Yeah. No. I agree. Heck, I mean, I'd say lately his son is making better movies than him. There was one that I know that you have seen. I don't know if it was one that kind of snuck on your list, but I know it has a common interest between you and I, Scorched Trials.
Yeah, it was actually like 6 or 7, I think. I was like, did I like it better than The Martian? Did I like it better than Inside Out? I was like, maybe, but I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
So I left it. I was like, I can't just have a bunch of big blockbuster like. I was like, I might as well just name the 5 biggest movies that come out this summer. No, I really liked it. It was completely different than
the first one. Oh yeah.
Really cool new stuff. It really leaves us like cliffhanger style, and
so that was a movie that we got to see together, and I know it caught both of us off guard. Like literally from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
It's like, when did they make a last
and
of Us movie?
all the way till the end, it completely caught us off guard. Like, wait, what? It is completely different from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, you could watch those two and say, these two movies are not related.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
very, very different.
that's pretty
Very good. Very different. So,
So let us.
I can't think of any other ones right now. Can you?
No, that's everything for me. And plus, I mean, there's still stuff that I know that I have to see, Inside Out, among some other ones. But that's about it.
Yeah, I would recommend you see Inside Out and Burnt.
Cool. I would recommend you see Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one on my top 5 that wasn't on your list or that you haven't seen. But let us know what you think. What were your movies? Do you agree with our movies?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
Any recommendations?
Post, recommendations.
Hey, I like watching movies, so shoot them this way if I haven't seen them.
That is true.
All right, well, that is our top movies 2015.
All right.
And we will see you next time.
Later.